Rise from your grave.
Hello everybody, this is Ryan from fistfulofpotions.com, and I know it's been some time since we've talked last, but I've been really busy doing very important things. Formalities aside, let's talk about video game prices. So I'm sure most of you are already aware that the average brand new video game has a pretty set price of $59.99 here in the States anyways, and it hasn't always been that consistent. If you look back 10, 15, shoot even 20 years ago, the cost of games was definitely not consistent. It was all over the place. You had games that were $40, you had games that were $60, you had games that were $90, which sounds ludicrous, but it's even more ludicrous when you consider inflation. At the time that these games were $90, that is equivalent to well over $100 in today's economy. Would you pay $100 for a game, a brand new game? I don't know, maybe you would if it was some kind of super special mega edition that came with a plastic statue and extra downloadable content, which some of you do. But I think that's kind of the point here. I hear this all the time from gamers online or people that I meet in person that video games are just too expensive, that $59.99 is just too much of an asking price for a game, and then on top of that, it's completely ludicrous for developers to ask for more on top of that for the season pass, extra super special mega awesome edition, or whatever the special edition that comes with the little plastic statue is going to be called. That's usually upwards of $79.99, $89.99, it could be even $100. But when you consider how much a game cost 20 years ago versus how much a game costs today, and then you consider how much a game costs to develop 20 years ago, and then you consider how much a game costs to develop today, at face value, it seems like we've got the better end of the stick than the developers did. Now granted, you do have the variable of the amount of people who play games now, so obviously the number of people who bought X whatever NES game versus the number of people who bought X PlayStation 4 game is definitely bigger on the latter. So there are more games being sold, so there's more profit being generated. So there's a reason why they're still doing it, but even still, at this point, you know, if you would have traveled back in time 15 years ago and said, hey, how much do you think video games will cost in 15 years? Most people probably would have answered $100 per game, but it hasn't reached that point. We're still paying $59.99 for a brand new game. Now, like I said before, some of us are actually paying $100 for a brand new game, but we're getting something extra with it. Then that's a whole new argument of game developers are shipping incomplete games and they're making us, you know, they're charging us for all the content that should have been there in the first place for $59.99. For one, that's just ridiculous because you don't know that. Like, yeah, maybe some publishers try to get away with that, but for the most part, the average developer or publisher, you know, has a deadline. They have to finish the game by this point and get it onto the market. Maybe that stuff doesn't get finished, but it is detailed and outlined, maybe even partially done. And it's not done to be like complete enough to be shipped, so it ends up being DLC. I think the conclusion or the resolution here is that the whole DLC special mega season pass design is a much better option than the alternative, which is publishers and developers just raising the average price of retail games. I mean, as I said before, it's expected that we should have been selling retail games for $100 a piece now, yet we're still at $60, which is even less than what it was 15 years ago in some instances. Obviously, I just gotta throw out there that indie games, Steam sales, the now ridiculous PlayStation Flash sales, PlayStation Plus, Humble Bundle, there are many ways where you can get games for really, really, really cheap at this point. So I'm sure that might have something to do with it. But in reality, those games and those sales really do not affect the AAA blockbuster tens of millions of dollar development cycle games like, say, an Assassin's Creed, a Madden, Battlefield, etc. So really the takeaway from this is the next time you feel like you're being wronged by a developer and they're just gouging your wallet for every penny that you have, for one, consider that in the arcade era, that was exactly what they were doing, and when they're no longer taking your money, now that design has gone to mobile games, where you pay $1 for more coins to finish that game. And then consider that you're still paying the same amount that you were paying 15 years ago for a game. They're just giving you the option to upgrade to the full price of the game if you wanted to, which is way better than them forcing you to pay for it. Alright guys, this is obviously a really controversial topic, and I know that I just touched the tip of the iceberg with this issue. I just wanted to kind of throw that out there and get the conversation rolling. So let me know your thoughts in the comments if you think this is a positive way of looking at the situation, or if I'm just completely wrong and way out in left field. Let me know what you think in the comments, and then we'll continue the conversation there, and if you get enough comments, maybe I'll do a follow-up to this. Alright, thanks guys for watching, and I'll see you next time. Also guys, real quick before I go, I just wanted to share this with you. During my travels looking for old magazine scans, I ran into this gem. Apparently keeping it portable was tough, until now. So you can go ahead and just bask in the awesomeness of that kid and his gigantic suitcase over his shoulder for his Game Boy, and just remember, now you can keep everything in your pocket.